What's up, dudes, lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. John here today. Um, Today we got the full list for the Structure Deck SOULBURNER, which is coming out in about a week now. And I think it's a week. I want to say the 14th or the 15th. I think so. We actually have the full official list. And I think it's interesting because we saw, as soon as people heard that Ash Blossom was coming out in the set, everybody and their mother pre-ordered the set, but we actually didn't have the official list out for what, like, officially we were getting in the structure deck, but we have it today, and I want to take a look at it because I did, I did like a little review of Zombie Horde, and I think I would just want to do a review of almost every set when they come out. So let's go ahead and take a list here. We've got a bunch of Salamander cards. I don't think they have it listed here. What are the supers and ultras in here? They just look like they're divided by monster, spell, trap, and extra deck stuff. I mean, I guess we can guess which ones like the main cards are going to be, but let's just start off with the main deck here with the monsters, how they have it organized. So as far as the Salamangreat cards, you got Raccoon, Mole, Gazelle, the most important monster in the deck, Spinny, the second most important monster in the deck, main deck at least, Fowl, Beat Bison, Mere, Foxy, the third most important monster in the deck, Falco, Jack Jaguar, two important one-ofs you should play, Wolvie, Paro, Foxer, and that's it for the Salamangreat cards. So what is that? That's like 13. What's interesting here is that, like, we already have a lot of these, but I almost went and ordered some of these. Like, I almost went and ordered like Foxy, Falco, Jack Jaguar, Paro, Foxer, just because they're already out. But you don't need to. If you order 3 of the structure deck, you don't even need to go out of your way to order those, which I thought was interesting. Maybe I'd prefer, since they're already out and they're already commons and super cheap and easy to get, if they had just put better reprints in here. But, you know, it's a structure deck. I mean, it's got to be mostly Salamangreat. So I'm not too mad about this, that you can just get almost pretty much everything other than, like, what, Sunlight Wolf for the entire deck right here in this structure deck, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, moving on with the monsters, we have True King Agnimazad the Vanisher, Doggeran the Mad Flame Kaiju, Flamvel Fire Dog, Fencing Fire Ferret, Inferno, Ash Blossom and Joy Springs, oh, so good, Red Resonator, Volcanic Shell, Four Mud Skipper. So, right here we have our monsters that are not Salamangreat monsters, and these are important to look at because there are some interesting ones here. So, Agnimazad the Vanisher, this is important because this is, like, I believe a $2 ultra rare. Not that this will be super expensive, but, you know, this could be a $1 common. And when you're looking at a structure deck like this, you're just looking for value. When the structure deck itself is usually $10, $15 in this instance, you want to see these $1 cards that are just gonna, like, make up for what you paid. Like, and you just want to see that the value of the structure deck equaled what you paid for it or more. And this is one of those cards. Doggeran as well. The rare is already over $1, so this card would probably be about $1 as well. So there's $2 of your, you know, $12 to $15 you paid for this structure deck already made back. We have Flamvel Fire Dog, nothing crazy. Fencing Fire Ferret, nothing crazy. Inferno. Ash Blossom is obviously the big one here. This is probably going to be a $5 to $12 common. So this card makes up for most of the entire, you know, value of the structure deck by itself. But it's the most common hand trap in the game. It's the best hand trap in the game, and I love that this is going to be available to pretty much any player now at a pretty cheap price, which is awesome. We also have Red Resonator. This is actually an interesting card. Maybe not in this deck, but it's an interesting card in general because it is like a Upstart Goblin, or not Upstart Goblin, Goblin Berg, but it's a tuner. It's a level 2 tuner, so you can, like, Goblin Berg out like just a level 2 or level 3 or level 4 monster, and then you can just make like a Synchro 5 or 6 really easy, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but certain decks definitely could make use of this card for sure. 2 Volcanic Shell. It's not really useful if it's less than 1, so I guess I get why there's 2 in here, but nothing crazy. And then 4 Mud Skipper. This is the most interesting one to me because I believe this is the first time this card is being released to us, and it's actually an interesting card. Like, for specific decks, this card could actually be pretty nice. Like something like Prank Kids, something like, I don't know, other stuff as well, but just stick with me here for a second. So we have this effect that says, during your main phase, you can reveal 1 link monster in your extra deck And if you do, the name, type, and attribute of this face-up card on the field can be treated as the revealed monsters if used as material for a link summon this turn. So the way that this is interesting is we have decks like Prank Kids where they can only be linked up into if you use monsters with the Prank Kids name, or just link monsters in general that are in archetype that need a name of their own. So this is really, really interesting that like this could be a substitute. I mean, I don't know the specific applications, but Prank Kids is one of the first ones that comes to mind. But we have a ton of in archetype like cards that can only be linked into with materials with their archetypal name. But this card copies the name of like the extra deck monster, and then you link up into it, which is really, really interesting to me. At the very least, I'm thinking stuff like, I don't know for sure, but like the new Magical Musketeer link, the link 1, if you summon him, I don't know if he says he can't use himself as material, but I don't know if that's possible. But if it is, you straight up make himself the same name as Magical Musketeer Max in the extra deck, and then link into Magical Musketeer Max. And Max's triggers on summon, so this can be an extra copy of him, which is interesting. And it's just little things like that, like consistency things, that this card's so interesting. It also has a second effect, by the way. It says, if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add 1 level 5 or higher Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. Another interesting effect, if you want to tech in the one of D-grade buster in your Salamangreat deck, this actually is interesting, or into a Cyberse deck in general. This effect can be interesting. So just keep an eye out for this card. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in some random strategies. It's also level 1, so it can be used as a link Karibo fodder. So really interesting card though. Just keep an eye on it. And then we move to the spells. You have Salamangreat Circle, Euroda. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of our rarity bump cards. Salamangreat Claw, Salamangreat Sanctuary, Will of the Salamangreat, Monster Reincarnation, Circle of the Fire Kings, Transmodify, Link Bound, Magic Planter, and I believe we move on to the traps after that. So, nothing super crazy here as far as like reprints or anything. I guess Transmodify is interesting because I think we only have 1 printing of Transmodify, and it's like either a super or an ultra, and it's like $1 or $2. So that's like a nice little thing. I guess I can check it out if I want. Might as well, right? That's what we're here for, to do a little inspectioning. Transmodify. Show me the magic. Nope, not Turtle Rock Gaming. The Ultra's like 75 cents, so it's nothing crazy actually. So it's not as good as I thought. And then a bunch of cards you need. No, like same stuff I was looking at before. Like Sanctuary is already out in the TCG, so I like that it's here. That just you get it. You don't have to worry about going out of your way to get all the other singles. It's all here that you pretty much need. Circle of Fire Kings is interesting as well, but I don't think it's crazy if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, we already have super rares of it, and they're super cheap. I almost prefer those if you do play them. I don't think you will, though. Link Bound. I don't know what that card is, but let's find out. Oh, terrible. Never mind. Don't worry about that card. Magic Planter. Interesting card for different archetypes. I actually don't think it's that very good in this. You have to destroy a continuous trap card on your field to draw 2, I believe. So not crazy in this deck, but there are other decks that are a little more continuous trap reliant. And then we move on to the trap cards. We have Salamangreat Rage, Salamangreat Roar, Salamangreat Gift, the Transmigration Prophecy, Threatening Roar, Break Off Trap Hole, Backfire, and Goes and Match. So we definitely have some interesting ones here. We have Goes and Match. I'm gonna start from the bottom this time. Goes and Match is probably the biggest one here, just because it's a floodgate used all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if I see people playing this in Salamangreats. They use almost primarily fire monsters. I mean, looking at their extra deck, even in the extra deck, like what do they summon that's not fire? Maybe like what? Nightmare Unicorn, Cerberus, what else? I got like a Transcode Talker, and that's about it. Update Jammer. So like maybe they play 4 cards and they're only tech cards that they bring out if they absolutely need it. So other than that, like Goes and Match is actually pretty interesting for the deck. Backfire, old card, not very good. Break Off Trap Hole, not very good. It's a link trap hole, I think, which is interesting. Threatening Roar is actually not a terrible card, but it's definitely outdated and it's already super cheap, so nothing crazy there. Transmigration Prophecy. I don't actually know what that does. Let's see. Let's see what you do. Oh, he's already been in a structure deck. That's lame. Select 2 cards from the graveyard and shuffle them into their owner's decks. Okay. Actually, not terrible. I mean, it does. It says either player, so it does hit your opponent's stuff, but it's already super cheap. Not worried about it. And then the 3 Salamangreats, the big ones, the one that pops, the one that negates, and I don't know what gift does, but whatever. Then we look at our extra deck monsters here. We've got Salamangreat, Heatleo. You get 2 of those apparently, which is pretty cool, with the new artwork, I believe. And I do like the new artwork that more than the old artwork, which is cool. Salamangreat, Mirage, Stallion. I know some people were iffy. I knew somebody wasn't sure if this was in the structure deck, but it is, and it needs to be, because that's literally, your deck is like Mirage, Stallion, Turbo, more or less. And then Mirage, Stallion, Turbos you into the rest of your combos. He's literally MX Saber Invoker, but specific to this archetype, which is awesome. So, him, Salamangreat, Bale Links. I'm going to call him Bale Links. That's a really important card for the archetype, just searching you on summon and protecting from grave, which is going to be really annoying for people to deal with. Flame Administrator. I actually like that Flame Administrator and Doolittle Chimera are in here, because those are 2 cards that I thought could be possible one-ofs in the extra deck itself. And again, it's just one of those things where, like, you don't have to worry about going out and getting those cards. They're just already there. So you open this product and you already pretty much have everything you need pretty much for the deck, other than Sunlight Wolf and maybe some other, generic traps, hand traps, whatever, extra deck cards, Transcode Talker, whatever you need. Yeah, this is going to be a really good product. I think, honestly, I think the reprints aren't crazy. I mean, I think Goza Match is really solid. Obviously, Ash Blossom is really solid, and then maybe Doggeran and True King Ignimizad are really solid. But then other than that, nothing crazy. But you don't need. I mean, it's a structure deck. You're getting a meta relevant deck pretty much out of a structure deck, which we've seen very few times in the past, a couple times, and that's it. As well as Ash Blossom, the most common card in the game, and it's a $35 super that's going to be shot down to $5 to $10 for all budget players to be able to play. And Goza Match, a very common floodgate, one of the best floodgates in the game. And just, yeah. Oh, one more thing to note, that I guess in the OCG they had Degrade Buster, Barrier Statue of the Inferno, and Brushfire Knight, but they took those out and they added Wolvie, Paro, and Foxer. I mean, they're all 10-cent cards, more, I'm assuming. I know Degrade's 10 cents. Barrier Statue of the Inferno might be $1, and Brushfire Knight is not one of the better knights. I mean, none of them are good as Armageddon Knight, but I don't think he's very good. A lot of them have too specific of requirements to activate their effects. But I don't mind these, because you might need these. Some people like playing Paro, some people like playing Foxer, and I could even see people like playing Wolvie, because he does have a nice recursion effect. So I don't mind that they're in here. Nothing crazy. It's just which reprints do you want? And I don't mind them going for the Salamangreat route. So I think just the combination of, it's already going to be a meta relevant deck pretty much right out the gate. We're all assuming it has one of the best reprints we've ever seen, a common version of the most common hand trap in the game that's $35 minimum prior, and some other little reprints in there otherwise. So if you're interested in anything that I've talked about in this structure deck, go ahead and grab it, because this is a really, really nice structure deck. And yeah, I don't think I got nothing else to say about it. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you thought I did a good job going over everything, then sub to the channel, because I'm going to do it for pretty much every set/product in the TCG at least, and specific OCG ones too, if I think they're interesting enough. It's there. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Peace.